we're gonna give the Versys 300 a little bit of a test run up those mountains in front of us here, or you want to call them mountains, they look like hills. It's a single track road that goes up that hill, dirt, pretty rough usually. We're gonna give that a go. Then we'll end up in the OHV on top and see how the Versys does in the sand and gravel as well. Street riding wise, this shock is pretty nice. Notice the ABS. Oh, now I gotta check engine light. That's awesome. Had the ABS fuse pulled, so that's what's causing that. Need to figure out a way to just disable the rear ABS only and keep the speedometer. My son's on his KTM 500. Obviously it'll be a walk in the park for him as far as difficulty. That bike is like riding on a freaking cloud. I mean, if this ends up being a decent off-road bike, not quite a dual sport obviously, but the highway performance on this bike, you know, is so much better than almost every dual sport you can think of. I'm willing to give up a little bit of dual sportishness as long as this one can handle, you know, what we're going to do today. Because what we're going to do today is probably the roughest that it'll see. All right, see if we can find our way back through these $1 million houses without disturbing the peace. Looking for that 7th gear. I always do that on this bike. Because everything else I have is low RPM torque monsters. Yeah, that $1 million house back there is for sale. I'm sorry, multi-million dollars. Everything's $1 million now, so. Okay, I want to collapse my 360 camera down a little bit. Shaking around a little bit.
Yeah.
You can go first if you...
A lot different going up than it is down.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's rougher than it was last time we were here too.
Definitely.
It'll be interesting to see how bad it gets.
Yeah. Can we go first?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I like this Barnett clutch. Yeah, I'm sure this GoPros are flattening this out quite a bit, but this is some pretty rough crap. Barnett clutch has definitely got some bite to it. I like it. Oh, see concept to the nuts. I adjusted my shifter up a little bit. I think I went too far. Need to go back down one notch, maybe. Whoa. Yeah, I need to be standing. Yo. Going to be probably, well, not that a 21 inch wouldn't have done the same thing in the sand just now, but I would imagine the only drawback to this kind of riding on this bike is going to be that 19 front. But so far, not bad. Looks like we're catching somebody, maybe. Whoa. A little bit of air there. Not bad. This thing works great.
How's the suspension?
Feels great. You can ride it on the way back down if you want. Should we go to the OHV or?
Yeah.
One thing I will say is that you can definitely feel that this bike is 50 plus pounds lighter, excuse me, jeez, than the Himalayan. Just so much easier to handle in those. The Himalayan kind of makes you go where it wants to go. This bike, you can literally put it where you want it to go. It's, you know, more like that KTM he's on. You just point it in the direction you want to go and give it some gas and you're on your way. You do that on the Himalayan and it kind of, you know, it kind of sloths its way in the direction you want to go, and you hope for the best and hang on and deal with the result. It's about the best way I can put it. And this suspension's working marvelous. I'm not touching a thing. I'm gonna leave it like it is. I mean, like I said before we headed up the hill, that's the roughest that this bike will ever see, more than likely. Ugh. So, and it handled it perfectly. got you guys with me. I totally forgot about you guys. Anyway, we're up here at the OHV. We're gonna ride down here to the campground, see what's going on. You can camp up here, right down in that area over there. And I believe there's a trail from the campground to the OHV, so you don't have to have a street legal bike to come out here on this road. That's considered a state road there, so you can't ride your dirt bike out there. Stop. Pay here. So yeah, if you guys, if you're curious, this is a 2023. If you pull the ABS fuse, you obviously lose your ABS, but you also lose your speedometer, and you eventually get a check engine light. You can see right here. Before I pulled that, I tried just taking the rear sensor off and zip tying it to the side. And it pretty much did the same thing. I don't know that I didn't ride it long enough to see if it had a check engine light, but I lost the speedo, so I was curious if I'd get my speedo back just by pulling out the ABS fuse, and obviously you don't. So anyway, there's that. Not really too much worried about it when riding off-road, but I guess it's an option. I might just wire in a switch when I go off-road so I can just flip the ABS off. All right, back to the grinder. I mean, obviously we're not going fast, but this bike's handling this stuff pretty good. I mean, it's going where I want it to go. Wouldn't want to fall down in there. That would suck. There we go. There's a bottom on the front. Bottomed out the suspension on the front that time, not the rear though. Going down is always harder than going up. Although some people prefer going downhill, they tend to like being able to just let it rip up the hill. Where's that silly KTM going to turn? It's handling this. I mean, obviously the sand's a little, it's not that deep and a little loose, but it's handling it well. Good shakedown cruise here, right? I can hear some squeaking going on, so something's loosening up. Oof. Some nasty ruts. Suspension seems to be handling it well, though. Technical. Keep it in neutral there. How annoying is that? Need to adjust that shift lever. Yeah, this guy's going right where I pointed. I kind of like it. Not bad at all. Like I was saying earlier, the Himalayan kind of you point it somewhere and hope that it goes that way. It takes a lot more muscling, and which makes sense. It's a heavier bike. But this one's easier to ride off-road, without a doubt. Way easier. Which is surprising. I would have thought the 21-inch front wheel would have given the Himalayan, you know, the upper hand by quite a margin, but nope. This one actually is much better at controlling, you know, where you want it to go. That's dangerous. Well, some pretty rough stuff, and you can see the quad lock held in there. So, you know, 2 thumbs up for quad lock. That quad lock mount has the anti-vibration adapter on there as well, because both me and my son noticed that without that, our cameras on our phones were getting fuzzy. We both have iPhones. I don't know how it would affect an Android, but yeah, iPhones definitely don't like it. Well, guys, we are back in the garage after the initial shakedown run of the modified suspension on the Versys 300. I'm pretty happy. It worked really good. Zero complaints about the FSS rear shock. I have the preload. It's not cranked all the way up, but it's up a little high. I'm about 205 pounds. And I have the dampening one turn from full stiff, and I think it has 3 turns, so I'm using 2/3 of the available dampening, maybe something like that. The road going up to the OHV was pretty rough. They still haven't graded it, which is fine because I like it that way. I know on the GoPro, of course, it looks like a dirt road, but the ruts in that road were anywhere from 7 inches to over a foot deep. Was, you know, it's a pretty steep grade. It doesn't look like it on the video, but it's a decent grade. But anyway, the Versys did great. I bottomed out the front suspension coming down the hill, but I almost did that on purpose. I hit hit one of the deeper ruts, just because the front had not been bottoming up until that point. So I wanted to push it harder and see what happened. And yeah, I was able to bottom it to the point where it was a solid impact. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it was bottomed out. Yeah, I don't think I changed the oil, so maybe I should drain out that stock 5-weight oil and put the 10-weight that I purchased to put in there that Racetech recommended. Also might get some gold valve emulators because the bike really did much better than I thought it would do. Yeah, wow, I mean, I don't even know how to say this, but off-road, this Versys 300 set up like this one is. We got some fairly decent tires. We got Shinko 804, 805s. We've got stiffer front suspension. We've got a FSS rear shock. It is more agile and easier to ride off-road than the Himalayan, hands down. And so how can I compare this? So the Himalayan, let's say you're trying to maintain a track, right? Pick your track. And with the Himalayan, you put in the inputs that's necessary to make it go left or make it go right. And it might go left, it might go right. It's lumbering. It's really slow to respond. I don't know how else to put it. I have a feeling it's due to the rake on this is much steeper than the Himalayan. It's more of a street bike, so it makes it more agile, but it's also making it more agile in the dirt. And it seems to cut that fine line of being stable and just agile enough to handle great in the dirt, but not squirrely to the point where it wants to tuck the front end easily in sand or gravel. I'm really impressed with the off-road capabilities of this bike. Power was not a problem. I have one tooth larger sprocket on the front of this, so I had some concerns that maybe I'd given up too much torque, but nope, not at all. She went everywhere I pointed her, give a little gas, go up the hill. Not a big deal at all. Yeah, as far as riding this on the terrain we rode it on today, which I can't really see riding it on anything much rougher. I know, again, it doesn't look like it's that rough in the video, but it's pretty aggressive. My son was on his KTM 500, and of course, he was like riding on a cloud the whole time. I think he had to put like maybe zero effort into making it up the hill. Whereas you'll hear, or you did hear, you got grunts here and there, and of course, a couple times it caught me off guard. I wasn't standing up, and yeah, the boys got jostled. So yeah, I just I'm really excited about how well this bike does off-road. It's impressive. Now I get it. I really do. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, place them down below, and I'll do my best to try to answer them. And you guys ride safe, and maybe I'll see you out there.